Hi everyone, I'm Luis from LuisReviewer.com, welcoming you to another podcast, A World of Entertainment. Um, I want to welcome you to this one. On this one, I'm going to be reviewing the last films that I've seen or that I've written about um, in the in my webpage. Check it out. It's www.luisreviewer.com. There you will find articles about movies, music, TV shows, uh, you know, just articles about all things that I like or that I've seen. Just giving my opinion on it. Um, I've always believed in just being honest in your opinion, but always stating clearly that it's just an opinion that is encouraging you to go check it out for yourself, basically. Don't take any critic's word for any film because there are some films that a critic has says something that the movie's awful, and I when I see it I enjoy it. Other films, critics are loving it, and when I see it I hate it. So it's all depending on you. So what I try to basically just give you an honest opinion, and if you go and check the film out, then you can go to your own conclusions. But just to give you an idea of what you of I'm sure if you read various critics, you can come to an idea about what you're gonna see. Anyway, for this is episode number 18 from this second season, if you want to call it that. And in terms of news, there were not really that much news of interest. I did want to, of all the things that I've read, I found it really interesting that Creed 3 will not have the figure of Rocky on it, as it's been reported that Sylvester Stallone will not be on it. And I think it's good because I think this time the story is not about Rocky; it should be about Creed, and I don't know how involved Sylvester will be, but I think he won't be involved. So in that sense, it's up to them to make us like Creed, like we like Rocky, and make the audience interested in what this Creed is going. The character is doing going through. We invested in Rocky. Not all of them, not all the films were good, but the majority of the films worked, and that was all on Sylvester. So it's up to them to carry this forward. So I don't mind that he won't be on Creed. Um, Certainly, the last Creed was amazing because of Rocky and Dolph Lundgren. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Creed goes now, with depending only on Michael B. Jordan, which is a good actor. That I'm not putting in question that. So let's see how the film develops. It has potential. I mean, I've liked the Creed. I like the Creed series, so in that sense, I think it's gonna be really interesting. The other news that I just read that kind of got me a little bit excited, but it's not like it's like there's much to say about it. Is the confirmation and pictures of the return of Alfred Molina as Doctor Octopus. Now I think it was confirmed a while back, maybe through all the rumors and all that, but the actor said it. They're continuing with the character right from where Spider-Man 2 ended, so that got me really interested because I didn't know if they were going to just use the same actor but do a different storyline. I don't know, but I'm really looking forward to see how they continue from the river to now. So I found that interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing that movie. I really am. So let's get right to the reviews. The first film that I've actually saw this week was the New Mutants. Now this film is from 2020. I never got to see it in the theaters. I think this one, I don't remember if it was released before the pandemic. I don't remember that, but I do. I remember the trailer, and I was kind of shocked that it was a Marvel film because it didn't look like a Marvel movie. Of course, these are Marvel characters under 20th Century Fox, not the MCU. But I don't know. When I saw the trailer, I was not hooked on it. I was not excited about it. Uh, so I kind of never got to see it until now when I saw that it was available on HBO Max. So I said let's give it a chance. So I did give it a chance. Okay, so the film stars Macy Williams, Anya Taylor Joy from the Queen's Gambit, Charlie Heaton, and Alice Braga, directed by Josh Boone. Okay, so basically, the story basically is about teenagers who are in an institution because someone is helping them figure out how to control their powers. So when they go out, they don't hurt anybody. Basically, that's kind of like the main story surrounding the movie. Now, my thoughts on it. Okay, what can I say? I think it was brave that it went kind of like a horror kind of way. This was kind of the X-Men meets a nightmare. And when I say this, it's because right from the start, I was reminded of the Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors movie because it was teenagers with powers. Of course, in Nightmare, it was all about Freddy Krueger and the dreams. In this one, they had mutant powers. But it felt like that, and I admire that they went that way. Did it work? Not for me. The characters were not likable at all. Um, what can I say? The kids in the Nightmare film, I kind of got interested in them, but in this one, I just couldn't. The demons, they look silly. The mutant abilities were not impressive. So for me, I just didn't quite get into the movie. The characters, like I said, I don't think they developed well. None of them got my interest, and I don't know. I just didn't. I just didn't enjoy the film. So for me, it didn't work. Um, so, but like I said at the beginning, this is just my opinion. I think the performances of the kids were all right, but I don't think. Um, I don't know. It didn't do it for me. Not even the connection with the X Men because they do mention that they believe they were in the X Men's mansion training to go to be X Men, but even that kind of looked pale to me. So the movie, I can't say that I liked it a lot, and I'm not one of those who hate any other film that is not in the MCU. I've enjoyed the X Men films. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them have been good. Um, the recent ones, because the early ones were great, except Last Stand. So it has nothing to do with that. I think it just that I don't think the movie worked for me. In my opinion, it just didn't work. Um, so moving on. This the reviews on this one. Uh, I don't know. Maybe I just didn't pick the right films. Anyway, the other film that I wanted to review is called Thunder Force, available on Netflix. It stars Melissa McCarthy, Octavia Spencer, and Jason Bateman, and directed, I'm sorry, by Ben Falcone. So I had no few expectations on this film. Occasionally that works for the better because it surprises me. So the story is about Lydia and Emily. Lydia and Emily met in high school. Emily was a smart kid who lost his mother and father, and she had a mission that she wanted to do something with her life to do justice to her parents. Now Lydia was this clumsy little girl with an attitude. They become friends until something happens that Emily needed to study and Lydia wanted to party or something like that. And when Lydia fails to wake up Emily in time so she can take the test, they have to this argument and they never spoke again. They stop being friends. And many years later, there comes the high school reunion. Lydia texted Emily to see if she was going because she wanted to see her. And when she didn't show up, Lydia went to where Emily works. Lydia, being Lydia, stumbles upon this chair. She sits down. She gets injected with a serum that gave her super strength because Emily was working on some treatments to make herself a superhero to stop the miscreants, who were a group of superpowered people that were doing harm to the city. Basically, that's the story of the film. So, right on the bat, the story is about two people who are at odds needing to get together to stop an evil doer. Now, why the movie failed for me? I think the movie, um, when you look about it in the overall sense, it just felt like a movie was forced. I don't think the actors were into it. I mean, Jason Bateman is a real funny guy. I like his movies. I think I even liked him way back in the Hogan's Family. Um, and he felt, his performance just felt like maybe he was offered a lot of money and decided to say yes. Or something happened in the script when he already has said yes. I don't know. He just felt like he was just goofing around and just getting by the performance. The same for the rest of the cast. And it has good actors on it, I must say. The other thing that I think failed is Melissa McCarthy. Now, I'm gonna say this because I have seen other films from Melissa McCarthy, like the one where she did plagiarism. I don't remember the name now, but that was a good performance. So I'm not saying I have nothing against her. I saw her in the film, The Kitchen, I think it was, and I liked her performance there. But I don't like her comedic aspects. I think it's like Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey has a real different kind of comedic sense, and some people love him, some people don't. My mother hated Jim Carrey, his comedy films. I don't think she understood his comedy. Even I like his comedy, but I prefer the drama films he did. So I gotta say that when the movie started being like this vehicle for Melissa's comedy style, I was annoyed because I am not a fan of her comedy. I think the movie made the mistake of, instead of focusing on doing a good script with funny lines, fine, but not focusing on her style of comedy. Make her give her a character, even if the character is funny. So in that sense, the movie failed because all the jokes, I mean, the character was just so annoying. Um, uh, and I think it all comes down to her style of comedy because I have seen other films of her, and that's the kind of character she usually played, in my opinion, anyway. So I got tired of the routines and the jokes. Um, so I think they try to make that this light comedy superhero film, and it didn't work for me. Um, and the story was not captivating either. So I don't know. I know maybe it was me, but I didn't quite enjoy the film. That's maybe as hope because I like films that I don't like nitpicking every little detail about every film because I want to enjoy them. But there are films that it just doesn't work for me, like I'm saying for me. I love Octavia Spencer, and in this film, I mean, she's good in it. Do I think it's her best film? No. But for those reasons, I think the movie tried too much, and it just, I don't know, it didn't get me. But like I said, it's just my opinion. I don't know how other people have rated the film. It had a good concept, though. I mean, it had a good concept, and it was nice, to have these two ordinary women becoming heroes. But it just the overall film, I don't know, it just didn't. I didn't quite get into it for the reasons that I've already explained. Okay, so moving on, that was the other film that I've seen. I want to get to this one. This one I saw today, and it's called The Father, directed by Florian Zeller, who also directed the play, starring Anthony Hopkins, Olivia Colman, and Rufus Sewell. So the movie is about this old man named Anthony who lives in a flat, and her daughter visits him on occasion, to take care of him because he lives alone. And suddenly, Anthony begins to see certain events and suspects in his mind, and they just want to take him out of his flat. And from then on, that's the center of the story. I don't want to give details because I think this film works with the less details you know. I was afraid when I read it was based on the play because I have seen a few films that are play-like or based on plays, and this kind of film really depends on the dialogue and the story and the performances. Because if the dialogue is boring or bad and nothing else goes on around the film, you get lost. And thankfully for this one, the movie was intriguing because I think it was brilliantly directed in a way that, without spoiling anything, you don't know what's going on either. You're just like the character that Anthony Hopkins plays. I mean, you don't know who's right, who's wrong, until the end, And that's intriguing to me. That's what kept me, because it's all dialogue. The film is all dialogue, and different people trying to explain to Anthony Hopkins' character what's going on, and he defending himself that he doesn't need anyone, and it's done brilliantly because nothing that you see makes you believe he needs help, because easily it could all be manipulated into making him feel like that. So it was brilliantly done. I have to say that I enjoyed the film based on that because I was intrigued by it. It's not that long. I think it lasted like an hour and a half, so that's good because you don't want to extend it too much because it might get to a point where you get tired. So they did it perfect timing maybe. So the film was good. And what can I say? Anthony Hopkins delivers yet another Oscar-nominated performance. And when I saw the trailer, I saw that it was good. But seeing the film was different. There is a scene where he breaks down at the end, and it's just so beautiful. I mean, the performance is so beautiful. I mean, this man obviously is one of the best actors ever. So I think if Boseman doesn't win, of all the nominees, I guess it should be him. But I'm hoping for Boseman because Boseman's performance, my rating is my rating is something I don't know. I don't remember the rest of the title. I think he was so powerful in it, and it has nothing to do with the fact that he sadly passed. I mean, if he was still alive, I think he would deserve it still. So The Father is a good movie. I recommend it. Nominated for Oscars. So yeah, now I want to get into now in reviewing a series. I think I might have mentioned it that I was seeing it. Well, now the first season is over, and I want to recommend this one. It's called Made for Love. It's on HBO Max. Like I think if I said it, I don't know if I said it in another podcast, but I found the show so unique, even though it deals with the whole girl trying to get away from the bad male. I think the twist or the premise, I found that it was so original. I mean, it was created by Alisa Nutting, Dean Bakopoulos, Patrick Somerville, and Christina Lee, and it stars Christina Milioti, Billy Magnus, and the great Ray Romano. Now, basically, the story, like I said, it's told between the present and flashback. It's the story of Hazel and Byron. Byron felt like an exaggeration of Steve Jobs. He's the brilliant man who was giving people great phones and all things technology. And he meets Hazel, and he falls in love or likes her, and he wants to marry her to take her to this place that he calls the Hub. Now, the Hub is this place where, thanks to technology, he doesn't have to go out to the world. He, by screens, goes anywhere he wants. He has people maybe that buys stuff, I don't know. But Hazel gets to feel trapped and not happy, and she escapes the Hub. And that's where the whole trauma of the story goes. And he was doing this new product, which is named Made for Love, which is a chip that implants on the couple's brains, and they see each other's thoughts. So when he implanted it on her brain without her knowing, that's the other intriguing part of the story. I found the story so good, the series so original. I like the characters, how they were developed. I love Billy Magnus' performance as the eccentric Byron. I mean, he's such an interesting character to play. I think Hazel, played by Christina, was sweet, strong woman, and what I like most about this show is Ray Romano. I mean, when you think about Ray Romano, of course you have him on Everybody Loves Raymond, which I have to be honest. When it comes to Everybody Loves Raymond, he's my least favorite character. But when I've seen him in other shows like Parenthood, um, I saw a few episodes of Bino, which I think he appears in. I've loved his performances on those ones. I think that just the Ray character was a little bit hard to swallow in sometimes because he was a little bit selfish. But that was the character, so he did it brilliantly. And in this one, I mean, he's able to make you laugh without being honest. Obviously funny. He's the character who you sympathize with. You don't know what he's gone through, what he's going through, and Ray Romano just does it so well. So this show is on HBO Max. It's easy to see. The episodes last 26, 30 minutes. And I think it's an interesting show. At least, I found it interesting. It's, maybe if you start seeing it, you might like it. But that one is available on HBO Max. So, that's kind of all I wanted to get into in terms of reviews. There is a new show that I started seeing on Disney Plus. It's Mr. Big Shot. It was okay, but it's a show that it's a story that's been done. This evil coach going to meet a new team, a new environment. So, but was it interesting? Yeah. Let's see how it develops. It's only one episode away. I mean, there's only being one episode. So, so in the last section of what I do in the podcast is the spotlight, and on this one I want to get into a film that was released in 1978, and that film is The Deer Hunter. Now, The Deer Hunter is a classic film, won Oscars. Robert De Niro, Meryl Streep, John Cazale, Christopher Walken. And I haven't seen the movie in a while, but I do remember the movie so vividly. I think the main theme of friendship and the hard parts of life is really present in this movie. The Russian roulette scenes are so hard to watch. First, when they're captured, and of course, towards the end, where Robert De Niro finally finds his friend Nick. So I don't want to give too much away, but this is a movie that I recommend. It is 3 hours long. It is a drama film, but it's such a good story. Robert De Niro is great in it. Meryl Streep won her first Oscar nomination. He's great. John Cazale in one of his final roles. In fact, there's a story, whether it's true or not, I don't know, that it runs around Facebook about how Robert De Niro pushed to have them both there so he can pay for his treatments. Great story. And it's just such an amazing movie. I think the end is one of those endings that just leaves you thinking, what did I just see? What does, So it's from 1978. I think it's a classic film. And I wanted to give it a little spotlight now. If you're a fan of movies and you haven't yet to see it, I highly recommend it. It is a classic film. So that's the show for today. Of course, next week we have Mortal Kombat coming. I'm gonna try to do other special podcast episodes like the ones I've been doing. I just finished the ones with the music. I'm gonna maybe go into movies by decades. I don't know, different things. Just to keep talking about entertainment. The podcasts are available on where podcasts are usually available, but I'm also putting them on YouTube. Just the audio, no video. But you can check them out on YouTube if you like. I have a channel there with older videos, or check them out on the webpage. Go to my webpage; they will be there, or at least the link to take you where you can hear them. So have a good day or good night, whenever you listen, and speak to you on the next one.